Go no last name, the secondary protagonist of Pokémon Journeys who is beloved by most definitely, absolutely everyone. Contrary to Ash, Go's goal isn't focused on battling, but instead on catching them all. The original catchphrase that was used for Pokémon. And although the game's main focus has always been on the Pokémon battles, lots and lots of people enjoy the aspect of building their Pokémon collection as well. The main point of the anime has always been to help sell the games and as such show as many elements, characters and Pokémon as possible. So I came to wonder, what if instead of to focus on battles, they decided to make the anime about gotta catch them all. As such, I decided to do a little thought experiment where I swapped Ash out for Go, making him the primary protagonist and determining how the series could be built around him instead of Ash. That way the main focus of the series would always be catching, which could help eliminate seemingly pointless fillers, as every episode could be used to catch or show another new Pokémon, as seen in Pokémon Journeys. This, of course, is pure speculation, and I'm not saying the anime would have been better that way, it's just for fun. So join me on this ride of building an entirely new Pokémon anime with Go as the main protagonist. Also keep in mind that this is an alternative universe in which Ash never started his journey, so things will play out very differently. Now, come with me and ponder the question. What if? The first obvious point we have to talk about are his partners. Since he won't take on the gym challenge, you might think he's not going to meet Brock or Misty, but as I've said, the anime also wants to show many of the game's characters, so they still have a role, don't worry. Go, however, will start his journey from Pallet Town, where he also meets his rival, Gary Motherfucking Oak. Both Go and Gary receive a Pokédex from Professor Oak with the goal to fill out as many slots as possible. Any Pokémon they catch can be sent back to his lab where he'll take care of it. The background story of Go is still the same, so his main goal will stay catching Mew, and he wants it as his first ever partner. But after he sets off, he meets a wild Pikachu and decides to make it his first partner instead, because of marketing! He and Gary both have the goal of completing their Pokédexes, but Go's not alone. He's accompanied by his childhood friend Chloe, who's not too keen on Pokemon, but all that changes when she meets an Eevee. He also meets Brock when trying to catch an Onix. Brock helps him out and as such they become friends and travel companions, because Brock wants to learn more about different kinds of Pokemon and women in order to become a stronger gym leader. I won't put a big focus on the development of both Chloe and Brock, since this is mainly about how the story would be like if Go was the main protagonist. However, as you might have already guessed, Chloe's development will be pretty similar to the one she's going through in Journeys right now, meeting lots of different new Pokemon and as such opening up to the world. Now this might be the start of Go's journey, but obviously that can't be all. The Pokémon anime was always built around Ash's gym challenge. The gym battles were like pillars who helped the story of the anime progress in an exciting and smooth manner. How do you want to represent something similar with a goal such as Go's? After all, you could just do 151 episodes all focusing on catching a certain Pokémon and that's it? But that wouldn't be quite that exciting, right? Well, I think it would be, and that's how the anime would look like if Go was the main character. Nah, just kidding. Well, first things first. Of course, Go won't really be catching every single Pokemon there is, but he will at least see all of them. With a goal as big as completing the Pokédex, you need to move away from the ordinary path every now and then and think about some new methods of collecting data. Think of the Suicune episode in Pokémon Journeys. You might have caught it, but it's still roaming around freely, not really being used by him. Something like that will also happen quite often in this version of the anime. Or sometimes it'll just be a legendary or mythical Pokemon acknowledging his strength and granting him their data, so that he can fill out the Pokédex without really catching them. Might be a bit weird, but hey, we need to let him progress without catching all legendaries somehow. Next up, what about Pokemon battles, or having a proper team of 6? Well, of course, battles won't be absent from this version of the anime, they just won't be the main focus. Go will have to battle quite a lot in order to get stronger Pokemon, fight his rivals and progress on his mission, which I will get into in a bit. And just because he's catching every Pokemon doesn't mean he won't have a main team. Most of them would stay at Oak's lab, but he will keep 6 goons as his main companions, changing them up every region. For example, in Kanto, I could see his team being Pikachu, Charizard, Squirtle, Ivysaur and Farfetch'd. The starters are here for obvious reasons, and Farfetch'd just because I like the one he got on Journeys, and Farfetch'd is also possibly the second coming of Christ, so he might as well. As for the last member of his team, I actually thought of something like a secondary partner. A Pokemon I think fits him like a glove and thus will never leave his side, just like Pikachu. This Pokemon is Ditto. not just because of its possible connections to Mew, but also because it could help him so wonderfully with discovering and exhibiting new Pokemon species, as it could simply turn into any of them to help Go out. So that's all good, but this still leaves us with one question. What will the main structure of the anime be? Well, for starters, there'll obviously be lots of episodes about Go simply meeting, befriending and catching new Pokemon. Team Rocket will also be in this version of the anime with their typical shenanigans. This will be the main portion of the anime, but as I said before, we still need those pillars, right? Well, enter Project Mew. I think Project Mew was a perfect idea for Journeys to include some sort of progression towards Go's goal, so I see no reason why it shouldn't be the main story element right from the get-go. It's the perfect opportunity to give him bigger missions as well as include many different characters. In this version of the anime, in order to catch new Pokemon, Go will go on a rock-type expedition with Brock and a water-type expedition with Misty. And that'll be all of her, I'm sorry. After that, he'll hear about Project Mew, which in this case will be run by Professor Oak. Unlike in Journeys, everyone can enter and join the team on expeditions to collect clues about where they could find Mew. These expeditions will revolve around legendary, mythical, or simply mysterious or strong Pokemon and will be the main focus of episodes you'll want to look forward to. Instead of traveling from gym to gym, Go will travel from expedition site to expedition site and go on main missions. And although everyone can enter, he still has to prove his strength by defeating both Lieutenant Surge and Erika in a battle. This project will be the main point of everything. It's where he has competitions with rivals, his biggest moments of character development, and the plot will move along with each main mission too. Instead of building up towards a huge league tournament at the end of each series, it will build up to the final expedition. In the case of the Kanto series, I feel like the main expeditions would be about Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, Dragonite, and maybe some fossils. Since Go and his rival Gary are still very inexperienced, they will be joined by other characters from the games, mainly gym leaders, such as Blaine helping Go fight Moltres or Sabrina visiting the power plant because of energy problems in her gym, where she'll find Zapdos. There could also be great moments of rival development, such as the Dragonite mission being about both Go and Gary having to raise a Dratini and let them fight in the end. And with each of the main missions complete, they'll come closer to their goal. Maybe Go could fight his rivals in order to determine who'll go on the final mission, or they just have a competition about who can get the legendary first. And by including different gym leaders and rivals, we'll also have the aspect of battling still present. And then, once the Kanto saga comes to a close, it's time for the final mission, the Mewtwo expedition. It will be the climax of the series' story where they fight Team Rocket trying to free Mewtwo and collecting its data to come closer to Mew. Obviously Go won't catch it and he also won't reach Mew since it is his ultimate goal after all. But this just opens the door for new adventures. Once Project Mew has no more missions to go on, Go finds out that Professor Oak is planning to do a similar thing in Johto called Project Celebi. So Go decides to go there in order to find a whole batch of new missions waiting for him. Finding Suicune together with Yucine, defeating Raikou so Jasmine can fix the lighthouse, or reawakening Ho-Oh with the Kimono Girls and Morty. And I think going on expeditions with gym leaders would be a way cooler way to get to know them. And it could always end in a battle with Go to show that he's strong too. By having these missions scattered across the series, there'll always be something to look forward to, and I don't feel like it would grow all that fast if we're just doing it right. For example, in Sinnoh, one of his rivals could be Paul, who joined Project Arceus because he wants to catch legendaries in order to become a stronger trainer. All the while Go's development over the past 3 series have led him to a point where he realizes that he shouldn't just catch legendaries and just befriend them, asking them for what they want too. If they want to join his team, they can come with him, but legendaries most of the time just want to roam around freely. But Paul will just defeat the legendaries and throw Pokeball after Pokeball to make them his. That way, Go's ideals could be challenged the same way Paul did it with Ash. And maybe, once he gets to Unova, he decides to form his very own expedition team and instead of undergoing challenges, he'll try to recruit different gym leaders. And after some time, he realizes he's become pretty good at battling, so he decides to take on a league after all. And in Alola, he could do pretty much the same thing Ash did, since the Ultra Guardians were very similar to these project teams. All I'm saying is that this formula of Go catching a new Pokemon pretty often while going on legendary missions every now and then to keep a nice flow would probably work pretty well in my eyes. No, I'm still not saying this would be any better than Ash's travels because I simply don't believe that. But I think it's fun to think about how things would have laid out if the Pokemon anime simply chose another focus back when it was created. But I kind of feel like it wouldn't have become quite that popular like that because, well, kids just like fighting. If you like this idea, then please let me know. I kinda enjoy imagining how things would have laid out in a different universe, so I hope you enjoyed it as well. You can like this video and subscribe to my channel. Be also sure to check out my Twitter account, where I'm currently doing my own Inktober challenge of drawing a different picture each day. Link is in the description. Now, goodbye and have yourself a great day.